Welcome back to podcast number 2.
But yeah, learn how to work for free. I know Robert Kiyosaki teaches you how to work for free, but there's a few things that disagree with Robert. Yeah. Number one, don't rely on the stock. Put compound interest aside, okay? If you guys want to make real income, create a system that works for you and a system that provides value to the world. Because if you guys just focus too much money on money, you guys can become a little scammy. You know, you want to be, selling people something they don't need.
You get me? Yeah. If you're selling something that someone doesn't actually truly need, or it's not adding benefit or value to them, you're manipulating for sale.
Yeah. And think of the cat. You know, when everyone's chasing the cat keeps running. But if you guys open a tuna can, value, the cat comes to you. So think of that think of that little term I just mentioned.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Think of the cat with the tuna. Okay?
Exactly.
Alright, what's the next question?
What did your friends and family have to say?
Average bullshit, average advice, average mentality. Don't listen to them. For example, my mom, she thinks the way for me to become successful was to go to college, get good grades, get a good job, and invest my money, climb the corporate ladder. And let me tell you, that's being average. Yeah, that's average success. When you're a kid and you thought of someone being successful, you just thought of them having a good job, having a nice car, a nice home, coming home in a suit, and people thought that, working in a factory, that was everyone's scared of working in a factory. That's why everyone forces you to go to school, especially in the Indian and Asian culture. If you're not a lawyer, engineer, or a doctor, you're out of the family. That was with my mom. She, after college, I didn't work right away because I was an entrepreneur. I was doing e-commerce. I was trying to sell on Amazon FBA. I was doing all these little side projects, and when you guys focus on so many side projects, you guys can focus on the one project. Oh yeah, before we move forward, I want to go deep in this topic, multitasking. Whenever you guys have a project, don't have multiple projects simultaneously, okay? Focus on one thing, okay? And then once you become successful at it, then move and become successful and master that and systemize that, then you move to the next project.
You have to have a system and structure around what you do to stabilize the results that you had before you can move on to what you want to do next. Because a lot of people, I feel like you start something, you are yielding minimal results, and then you're like, okay, well, this isn't getting me where I want to go. So again, you're shoveling out the crap, or you're mining, and you're so close to getting to the breakthrough you need, and then you're like, okay, well, I need money right now, so you try to do something else, scatter your mind even more, make less money, invest somewhere else, lose the money, rather than just wrapping it up, putting the systems and structures in place so that they're all automated, and then moving forward and actually getting to the point where you can create multiple streams of, the average millionaire has 7 streams of cash flow constantly.
Yeah, well, don't cheat on your business though.
Yeah, don't cheat on your business.
Because once let's say if you're fresh, okay, and you're trying to start a digital marketing agency, okay, think of how you're gonna get your first paying client within the next 60 days, okay? And then all of a sudden, don't be on the 10th day and thinking, oh, look at this bright Amazon opportunity, I should do that. That's why I did. So I was focusing on so many things that I wasn't actually getting results with either one. Because when you guys think about it, what's the difference between you working 1 hour a day on your business versus the other guy working 10 hours a day on that one business? You're gonna get destroyed. Most people get comfortable, okay? They make a bunch of excuses. Oh, I need to buy this equipment, I need that, or I need this connection to make money. When you guys can make money right away. Don't be too much money driven, be value driven. If someone's willing to pay for what you have, and that you have something unique instead of being overly saturated in the competition, you can make money with that. But another thing too, think of urgency. whenever you guys do something, be urgent. Because like, for example, my ClickFunnels account, my whole funnel could have been done within a weekend. Okay, it took me a whole month. Okay, so but the thing about that is that most people focus on too many different things. You know, like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this and that. But if you guys focus your efforts into just a little project, you know, finish it, you know, within like a weekend, and once you guys finish it, it's done. That's way better for productivity instead of doing half of it and then going back and doing that and that. Because when you guys stop halfway, it's very hard to, you know, gain the momentum you guys had in order to finish the project.
Like there's number one thing that I like excuse-wise is if you know you're capable of doing something, the sentence, if it begins with I think, just stop thinking and start doing. Because you're already creating an excuse for why you're not doing it, but you already know how to do it. So why are you wasting the time saying, oh, I think that, you know, I need to study more on this? And it's like you already know that you're capable of doing it. The base skill set that you're required is going to come into effect when you're actually doing the work. It's going to start to develop itself really rapidly. And it's like, I just hate people who say I think, because a lot of people have an understanding, and when you have an understanding, that's really all you need. Mm-hmm. And it's like you learn a lot more along the way. So just shut up, stop saying I think, and start doing the damn work.
Yeah.
Like friends and family for me when I started, like I have a very different family. So we have my mom's degree driven, so she has a few degrees. She's very supportive entrepreneurial wise of my dad, and my dad is a business owner. So is his dad, and my mom's side of the family is a bunch of farmers. So it's kind of in the blood. However, everyone has their own hustle. It's not like we do what the last generation did. We like to make our name for ourselves to show that our family can do different industries. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't say I had any really negativity from my family, but my friends, I got called an idiot, stupid. I'm too uneducated to actually know what I'm talking about. I don't have a degree, so they can't talk with me.
Oh, I can't talk to you just because you don't have a degree.
I love that. I love that one. Yeah. I'm like, they're just too they're too scared that you're gonna outsmart them, and they're paying $20,000 a year for education.
My biggest pet peeve is like let's say if a big insurance company, they need salespeople, right? And they're asking for a degree to make sales for a fucking phone job.
I'll outsell them. Like, I swear to God.
Yeah, like I'll outsell any graduate with a 4-year master's degree, whatever, in sales. But that's my biggest pet peeve. It's like, you need this degree to do that. Okay, when you guys bought something on Amazon, okay, do you guys bother to ask the owner of that brand, hey, do you finish college? Like, if someone has the cure for cancer, okay, and I have cancer and I need that cure, I'm not gonna stop and be like, oh, didn't you pass your medical school in 2006? No, if they have the cure and I have the need, I'm gonna pay for that need.
Yeah, and it's I think the one thing is like people, like, you know that when you watch a movie in a movie theater, it's projecting the image from behind you onto the screen. So your friends will project their mediocrity or their minimalistic mindset onto you. And it's funny because mediocrity, the explanation of why they do that's right in there. It's me. They'll constantly focus on what's convenient for them, and they'll be scared to like lose another friend, but it's always focused around them, not about you. So they're literally, mediocrity has me in it. That's literally all that mediocrity stands for. So don't fall for someone else's game plan. Mm-hmm. Create your own.
Okay, wait, before you move, big tip. If you guys have average earning friends, that's fine. You guys can keep them aside. I'm still keep my friends. But biggest tip, get a friend that's doing more than you, that's more successful than you. Like, get a friend that's like making, 10 times more than what you're making, because the ideas you get from that one rich friend can accelerate your path to success. But if you guys are always hanging out with average people, okay, like, I don't want to seem like this like big narcissistic, but like,
you're the sum of your 5 closest friends. So
yeah,
like,
you're the average.
Yeah, you're literally the average. Like, if you're if you're the smartest person in the room, get a new room. My number one thing was like when I started off was I always pushed myself to be around people who were more successful, growing faster, so that I could catch on to the heat of growth in business, and also learn like the skill sets, the elite ones that they're developing, so that I can apply them in my life. Because you're not going to learn elite skill sets from people who are standing still.
Yeah.
And it's true. Like Ray kept his. I ditched all my friends for the most part, with no disrespect to them. They just weren't where I wanted to be, and frankly, I saw more value in like one day me and Rank will probably be on a yacht together. It just depends on who.
Or I'll invite you over.
I'll fly my helicopter over and land on your yacht.
Well, my jet can pick you up. Okay, I'm just kidding. That sounds cocky, but
yeah.
Always stay humble.
Speak your dreams. Speak them. Be humble, but don't be afraid to speak your dreams. The number one thing I learned over the past 2 months was, I speak my dreams out loud a lot. Like I talk about where I'm going because I'm excited about where I'm going. I created the urgency to get there. But people will say like you're arrogant and stuff like that. People who have small dreams, though, it'll come across arrogant to them because they're not pushing themselves to get there and they'd rather stay comfortable. So like for you, don't take that as an insult, like, oh, you're arrogant. Take that as in like, you're doing a damn good job speaking out loud what you want in life. And keep focused on that. And like, my car's really loud. When I close my eyes,
hey,
not
my car's
driving.
louder.
Yeah, he's got a way nicer car than I do, but there's, when you're driving your car, don't close your eyes while you're driving, but if you're in a parking lot, rev it up a little bit, close your eyes, picture you're in a Ferrari.
Well, don't do that if there's a cop around. They'll take your license, bro. Like, that's called stunt driving, bro. If you're revving her up, like, damn.
Talk to my lawyer.
What lawyer? Anyways,
I have a lawyer, don't worry.
Yeah, but the other thing too is that environment. The thing about your friends, families, all that, and people you surround yourself with, it's environmental. It's something that happens environmental unconsciously. Okay, if you guys walk into a room, like I noticed this with college. When I went to college and I was doing a lot of work in college, I used to be very productive. Like I used to be like just my computer, like and get shit done. But then you would go into, let's say if you went home and you have, a bunch of friends over, that environment shift from being a productive environment to a lazy environment, that will affect your productivity. And this is a little compound effect. It's not like, oh, I'm friends with the loser, also I'm gonna become looser. No, it's your environment. It's, if you're hanging out with someone that's not very productive, you're not gonna be very productive with them either. If you're with someone that's working all the time, all of a sudden you're gonna be working all the time because you get inspired. Not inspired, like you get sucked into the environment you're in. So like, let's say if you're going to the startup meetup where there's a bunch of great entrepreneurs where they're starting like multi-million-dollar companies, then you guys go to that meeting. You guys are gonna have a lot of motivation and you guys are gonna think outside the box. You guys are gonna have that urgency of saying, hey, all these people can do it, so can I. But if you guys are hanging out with a bunch of people that have dead-end jobs, it's gonna be very hard to be different than them, and you're gonna get sucked into their way of thinking, which is average. And in order to have wealth very rapidly, okay, wealth is not easy, but you guys can get wealth fast if you guys focus your efforts into the right system. But
it's mentality before money. That's because true. If you can go in, like I've met millionaires who have made a lot of money really fast by just doing mindless work, grinding it out, working hard. And the thing is, that's not a bad way of doing it, but if you don't know how to keep it or you don't have that mentality in place, you'll lose it just as fast as you got it.
Oh, mentality. I like this topic. Mentality, toughness. This is the number one thing you guys need before you guys do anything. Okay.
Yeah, so what's your mindset when you approach potential clients and prospects?
Is that a question for me?
Yeah.
What's my mindset when approaching clients? Depends. I'm no longer motivated for my business because I'm innovator. But when I want to like when I started my company, every potential prospect and client, I saw them as money trees. Okay, for example, when I thought of my commercial cleaning company and I saw every building that I saw, I was thinking of that building can make me $2,000, that building can make me $1,000, that building can make me $10,000 a month. And every time you guys walk into the way I did it is people reached out to me because I created like my digital marketing campaigns and my online presence. I had it like so established and everything, all my campaigns were like on point that I got the leads sent to me to my email, okay? But when I was trying to do sales, like direct sales and prospecting, I just thought of every potential client. Imagine if you got that client and locked them. That right there is, for example, one of my biggest contracts I have, it's a $7,000 contract a month, okay? And when you guys go into a meeting, you guys gotta think, I need to do everything possible to close this contract. And that's the mindset. You guys gotta have the mindset of being hungry, being broke. That's the best mindset you guys can have. Always think of, don't get cocky. Don't be like, oh, there's just another client when I'm making 20 a month.
And so you project that onto the client. When you do that, they pick up like, oh, I'm just another number. No. And it's very unlikely that they're even going to get the feeling or the need to, because you need to create the need for them to want to, like the number one thing is when you're trying to close a sale is creating the need, creating the pull, and then doing the close. And it's like,
no, my process is a little different. No. Okay, give suggestions, because that way people are gonna think you're a person of authority. Let's say if a doctor gives you a suggestion, you're not gonna second question them, and on top of that they become a authority figure in a way. And the thing about it, ask what their problems are. Okay, when I go into a meeting, I ask, so what made you call today? And they were like, oh yeah, we're not happy with the current provider. And mention how you're gonna solve those problems, and mention what you're gonna solve for them, and how their life is gonna be better after they go with you because you pointed out all the problems you're gonna solve. So always ask in a way what their problems are, and not directly, oh, what's your problem? Have like 5 different questions, okay? And out of those 5 questions, sometimes there's gonna be a problem in that question, and you guys have to answer that question. Like when the client responds to that question and pinpoints their like struggles, tell them how you're gonna solve that, and that's a big close. Don't think like when you guys go into a meeting, don't think as a salesperson just doing blah 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 and talking and just be silent. Think of a human to human interaction. Put yourself in the client's shoes
and know your client. Yeah. Like there's this saying that I think people like honestly don't actually take and put into effect, which is walk 1,000 miles in someone else's shoes. When you're walking in there, you need to understand from their perspective why they're actually pursuing having you come in. So that's like when it comes down to the need side of things, figure out like, yeah, what the heck's the problem? Like why, like what's their need right now? Like why did they reach out to me? But understand like this is their business, and if it's direct sales, this is their business. You're trying to help them out. You're trying to like close a sale that can actually literally, like for you, cleaning contracts benefit keeping their facilities clean and safe. And it's like, and then the pull of it is just creating the pull so that they understand your company and understand like what your company does, how your company can perform better, the systems you have in place to make sure and the standards your company upholds, things like that.
Yeah, and very important. This step is to close more of your leads. Is tell a story. If you guys want to become a good marketer, good salesperson, tell a story. Tell a story of how you got started. Because when you guys tell a story, people build trust for you, and when they trust you, they're more likely to go with you. Another thing too, when you guys are about to close a sale, this more for like, this tip goes for like funnels, like selling courses, but this thing could be applied for anything you guys do. It's called stacking, and stacking means stack everything value you're gonna bring to the table. So for example, janitorial company, when I'm quoting a place, I'm not gonna just tell them, oh, this is how much we're gonna charge for basic cleaning. I stack up value propositions. So for example, I put, we'll do carpet steam cleaning every 6 months. This is gonna cost $1,000. And then we do, you know, buff up their floors with a scrubber. That's another $1,000. You know, the first initial clean, you know, 50 cents a square foot. And I stack all those things, and I put them in the original price. I just use those stack up things. Stack up whatever you guys do, stack up whatever you bring into the table, stack it up, and make sure it's like, let's say if it's $10,000 worth of value in stack up, and then you're only charging $1,000. That's going to increase the closing rate, because people are going to think, oh, I'm getting $10,000 worth of value for only $1,000, and that's going to increase your conversion rate and closing rate.
And that's the, like, really what it comes down to is, like, when I approach prospects and clients, it's what value can I bring to them. And then, because, like, honestly, value is the #1 thing that will sell, and you'll bring value as yourself as the business owner if T equals T, transparency equals trust. So you bring that to the table, then you brought value so that they value you, they value your time, but they also value your company. So now they see value in you, and then you see the value that you can bring to them, and that's where the transaction's really closed, is within that moment.
Yeah, because if you guys think about it, making money, it's only a number being transferred from one party to another party, okay? And in order for you guys to do that, think of the cat with the tuna can philosophy. Always put it that way, okay? Don't be chasing, don't just like bend over for the prospect and be desperate. You know, tell them what you have to bring to the table. And all these little trusts too, like building trust, tell a story. Okay, mention the person's name frequently, because their name's their favorite word. Make sure your hands are warm when you shake them. Make sure you show up for like wearing something formal, because if I show up in the meeting wearing a hoodie, they're not gonna trust me. You know, so even too, what I noticed too when I go into a meeting with empty hands, like they don't like me for some reason. But let's say if I come to a meeting with like writing keyboard, like, okay, I don't have one here, but all of a sudden, just because I have a writing keyboard, even though I'm not writing anything, all of a sudden I'm more trustworthy, because when you see someone with a keyboard writing, you think, yeah, it's authority. And these little tricks, you know, stack up. These little things, everything, pretty much when you guys start a business or going to a meeting, whatever, you guys gotta think of like everything you guys bring to the table. Oh yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. When you guys went to a meeting, I forgot what I was gonna say.
When it comes to like authority-wise, like I'm gonna say a story because
yeah, I blanked out.
I like showcase. So if you want to know how a clipboard can bring you authority, we showed up to a construction site. I don't recommend doing this for anyone, but this was just to prove a point to someone with a safety vest, a suit, steel toes, a safety helmet, and a clipboard. And we walked completely through the entire facility, top to bottom, and left. And they thought that we were there as investors.
Yeah, or just
no questions asked.
There's another. I saw a prank on YouTube. It's like, go anywhere with the ladder, and you just honestly walk up anywhere with the ladder, and people automatically are gonna think, oh, this guy's doing some maintenance BS, and they just like they walk into anywhere, like the Grammys, whatever.
It's like it's easy to blend into people who are
yeah. And another thing, when you guys are going to prospects, don't be like a robot. Don't be like reading off a script, because people notice that. I notice people, like, I would be like making sure I mention everything in my list, and when I did that, the prospect noticed that in a way, and that right there, they made them uninterested, because I was reading, like, not just making points off a script, they made them think that I was trying to be salesy. And whenever people catch on that, oh, he's just a salesman, they become uninterested. I had that experience. So whenever you guys go into a prospect and a meeting, pretend that you're the boss. Don't pretend you're the boss, but pretend that you know what you're doing.
Don't act like the masses, because when you realize that the M's silent, that's when you'll be really successful really quickly. Be you, be unique, but also be professional. Know what you're gonna walk in there and you're like, I'm gonna sell this guy cleaning, and then you show up and you try to sell this guy on like a catering deal.
Yeah, don't be a typical door-to-door salesman.
Yeah.
All right, what's the next question?
What recommendations do you have for new entrepreneurs, and why do you personally recommend entrepreneurship?
Okay, number one, entrepreneurship's not for everyone.
Not at all.
Because some people, for example, certain people can't even get a job, or like people are just. The thing about the biggest tip of entrepreneurship I give is read books. Whenever you guys are doing passive work, listen to books. So whenever you guys are reading, driving, washing dishes, going for a walk, going to the gym, I always recommend listen to books, but not because you're reading books doesn't mean it's a good book. Make sure to listen to good books, but all times the top selling books are not the best, because all times, like for example, there's certain books that are very popular. I try listening to them. It's literally a mind fuck over the same topic when that same topic could be summarized in a paragraph. But there's compounding that whole topic just to sell you that book for that one topic.
20% of the actual content in a book may 80% is filler content, 20% is actually the shit that you need to know.
The biggest book I recommend for you guys, I know we're skipping part here, but read Unscripted by MG DeMarco and The Millionaire Fast Lane by MG DeMarco. And what's another good book? 0 to 1. What's another one?
I personally recommend Think and Grow Rich. That's like the baseline of developing financial understanding.
That's a classic one,
yeah. It's a good classic.
And there's the same author. He made a book, The Loss of Success, I believe, something like that.
There's Master Key to Riches too, which is another good one.
Yeah.
I also recommend personally Confidence and Power in Dealing with People, because when you're an entrepreneur, I don't think everyone should be an entrepreneur. I think everyone should strive to be perform at their highest possible level without just giving into just their comfort zone. Always, if you're working in corporate, don't strive to be at the bottom, strive to push to the top. The only thing I don't like about corporate is the higher you push yourself up, the easier you are to cut off, because you're literally putting the person above you at risk of losing their job. It's literally a pyramid. You're climbing up, you're putting yourself at risk of losing your job. So you
it's a lot of power.
If you're betting on yourself that you can make the climb, outperform every single person, but make sure that it's visible to the person at the very, 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 very top.
But there's a little conflicting thing which you mentioned. It's a lot of power. It's don't outshine your master, especially when that master has power over you. This happens sometimes in college where one student's starts outsmarting the professor, and all of a sudden that student starts failing. Yeah. That's outshining the master, or when your boss feels threatened that you're gonna become better, and all of a sudden they fire you. So be careful with that little.
That's for all the parents out there that watch this. There's a few schools within the Kitchener-Waterloo region that bell curve a lot of their exams for your kids to pass. So I didn't say that, but you're welcome. So your kid's actually partying a lot. So you're welcome for paying for that.
That's university. If whoever goes to
they're only in it for the money. They're literally only.
Oh no, they're all.
It's the best marketed business out there, because not only did college and university create the need, because the entire tax system was developed by entrepreneurs. The entire educational system was literally put in place by millionaires who wanted to keep their wealth. It was developed as a business to make money, and it was in the sense to train people how to be more effective at specific career paths. But going in with the mindset that you're gonna make boatloads of money just because you got a degree. I don't have a degree, I will smoke you.
The biggest mistake I see people most people make is they go into university for a degree that has no demand, and even if it has, let's say if you even have a good degree,
How many teachers can you have?
Hmm?
How many teachers can you have?
Very limited. Or how many art?
How many teachers
How many art majors are you gonna hire in the future?
All of UW runs through art majors now for the most part. It's like arts and then your degree. Yeah, like everyone knows how a printer works. You put something in and it prints out. You put your kid in school, it prints out the same degree, just with a different name on it.
It does, and
It's sad to think people spend $20,000 on that, but like I don't want to come across like I don't like school. I believe education is the single-handedly most important thing in the world, but it's where you pull your education from is key, because I don't want you guys to think that you need a degree to go into entrepreneurship. A business degree will teach you how to work for someone else effectively, and there's going to be a very lack of skills. Well, it's going to lack in the skills that you actually truly need to be successful in entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship, it's a lot of a life battle too.
oh, jeez, it's
Your personal life gets in the way.
There was a chart on entrepreneurs and how entrepreneurs are 10 times more likely to be like stressed, like 2 times more likely to be suicidal. It's just like all like entrepreneurs tough, but depends how far you take it. Like for example, Elon Musk, he goes through some stressful times, let me tell you that, but
especially financially. If you guys haven't heard his story, I would highly recommend watching the story.
Oh yeah, fucking guy from South Africa comes to Queen's University, founds what is it? It was a directory software. It was what was it called? It was
What do you want?
Okay, I forgot the company name, but he created a no, that was his second company. So him and his brother created a like a online directory.
Yeah.
Right, like Yelp, something like that, and then he sold it to like a bigger company, and then he started X.com, right, which is like PayPal in a way.
Yeah.
PayPal was a different company; it was named differently,
Yeah.
but then due to that .com crash, both companies were gonna go like bankrupt. So then they combined, right, and that was called the PayPal Mafia, and that's where the guys that created YouTube came from, and then they sold that company to eBay for $1 billion, and then Elon Musk invested that money into SpaceX, which, if you guys don't know, SpaceX took like 8 years to finally launch or be successful. And
without crashing a rocket into the ground and wasting millions of
oh no,
dollars.
he failed like 4 times.
Like you guys are scared to lose like $1,000, $2,000. Dude, he crashes a rocket, that's like $100 million gone.
Yeah, I mean maybe not 100 million, but
Yeah.
it's up there.
It's enough money that like, yeah, and it's money's a number. It's like I always teach compound tripling. So if you know that you can buy something for $1, you can turn around and flip it for $2, but how can you add the value on the product to get it sold for $2? Bring it to the consumer. So like you see kids go door to door, this Girl Guide, like those cookies probably only cost you like maybe $1, maybe for them like wholesale when they're making them, and you're selling them for like $3 to $4 a case. The value is increased because you're bringing it directly to the customer. Like there was one guy I had talked to, and the initial consensus that we had was that you can't sell something without, like, he was basically saying there's a hole in my theory. Within taking a box of chocolate bars he bought from the dollar store and standing on a street corner, he tripled the amount of money he had on his principal investment.
Oh, yeah,
It took an hour.
Like don't do that. Like it's gonna
I don't recommend.
Don't do that, but that teaches you the fundamentals of entrepreneurship. It's
and I learned that in Jamaica, because you don't see any people sitting on the roadside in Jamaica that aren't pushing a product, because they know that they're not going to get the money unless they're bringing some sort of value to people. So they carry CDs, they carry books, and they're selling between cars, and that's their grind. But they don't just sit there and wait for someone to give them something. They go in there with the expectation that they're going to make money because they're bringing something along that has a value or worth to it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but one thing of creating a business, it's not oh, I'll do one thing and I'll be in business, okay? Think of entrepreneurship of little tasks you guys gotta do. The little micro things you guys do, okay? Like for example, if you guys want to create a, you know, like a clean company, for example, like you don't just start out, oh, that and I'm done. Everything is micro steps, okay? And all those little micro steps turn into a micro event, okay? For example, when I was starting my cleaning company, you know, first you research a good name, okay, I got that done. Then you research if it's available, okay, got that done. Okay, now you research, oh, how do I register? Okay, I got that done. Okay, what do I need now in order for me to, you know, be a good company? Okay, I need insurance and I need WSIB clearance. And now you need a website, otherwise no one knows who you are. Okay, so you get the website done. Okay, oh, all of a sudden the website needs some basic banner displays. Oh, let's go to canva.com, design that. Okay, I got that done. Okay, what do I need to do next? Okay, I need to do some copywriting. Okay, I got that done. Okay, what else do I need? I need a professional email. I got that done. And then you guys need a proposal. Okay, got that. All right, guys, so once you guys get little things done, that turns into a big event. And that's how entrepreneurship works. If you guys are working on a side project or a side hustle, don't get overwhelmed about everything, okay? Take small steps, complete them, and move to the next bigger step and complete them. Move the needle in your business, but don't get sucked into, when you guys are doing this, always think of the 80 to 20 rule, okay? What 20% of my efforts will get me 80% of results. But don't be too fixed on the 80-20 when you first start out, because you don't know what, you know, 20% of your income will come from, or 80% of your headaches will come from. But always when you guys are do that, always think of the 80-20 rule. There's this thing which conflicts of moving the needle on your business, and moving the needle on your business is getting more business and everything you can do to increase the value of your business. One thing that conflicts with this is action taking versus action faking. This is a big one. It's a big one, Zachary.
Action taking for action making?
Action faking versus action taking.
Oh yeah.
Real action versus fake action.
There's what we call flapping your mouth and then doing the work. Two very different things. I action faked at the beginning. Are you kidding me? I think everyone does it. It's like, it's easier to talk about, like, again, it's good to speak what you want in life, but it's also easy to fall into the loop of like, okay, I'm gonna action fake this, I'm gonna make myself look really good, and you create your own false clout, I guess it would be the term for it, like false following and stuff like that, without actually doing any of the required work. Because for me, when I started like my social media business, my first one, this business I don't do anymore, but made my money in there and got out. But the thing was, when I started it, I did a lot of action faking, where I did a lot of work really quickly, but it was like little work that was more to do with just me flapping my mouth, and it came with minimal results. Whereas then when I actually went out there and did the work, we went in 2 months to 8,000 followers. Because I actually did the footwork required. I didn't do online work. I wanted to build rapport with the people we had, so our engagement rates were so high. Worked out great for the period of time that we did it. But the thing is like, are you willing to do that work with it, or are you just gonna fake it till you make it? Because if you fake it till you make it, you'll never make it. Just wait. You can't fake anything. Like, if you're transparent, people can tell if you're faking it or if you're actually doing the work to make it.
Well, so sometimes you can fake it to get your way.
Yeah.
In a way, for example, when I went to meetings.
Persuasion, yeah.
For example, I went to meetings for my clean business. I would mention, oh yeah, I've been in business for 10 years. But if I mention, oh yeah, this is my first year being in business, who's gonna trust you? You know? And that's, sometimes you guys gotta like say certain things, but people can see right away. But what I mean about action faking is that a lot of people might focus on work that's not necessarily moving the needle, and that work could be, you know, spending a whole day just designing your business card, or, you know, spending a whole day just doing something that could have been done in under 5 minutes. That's called action faking.
And that's a wrap. Thank you for watching.